Are there any sort of final thoughts that you'd like to leave our listeners with, just in terms of careers or finding new jobs? I think we've covered some great ground here, but just any final thoughts?
I guess ending where we started with some of Rilke's great counsel, which is taking time in solitude, not looking for the answers externally, sitting in the discomfort, sitting in the uncertainty. I think I know I see people who are always looking for the next theory or the next framework or the next, they're educating themselves about whether it's mental health theories or career change strategies. There are a wealth of information of theory, but they're short on the practice. There's a lot of talking about emotions, or they're so knowledgeable, and I don't mean this to sound disparaging or critical. I get it, because I'm a junkie of all these theories too, and they're super interesting, but nothing replaces a practice. Nothing replaces, I did those 3 buckets I mentioned before of some movement, some quieting the mind, some inspiration, some taking time on our own to get comfortable in our own bodies, ground ourselves, because it's a crazy world out there. And if we don't take this time, we're basically operating in chronic stress, chronic high alert, and we can't live at ease, let alone do our best thinking. So nothing to me replaces prioritizing, taking that time to take care of ourselves.
Fantastic. And Kelly, one last thing. Normally, I like to offer my guests a chance to give a shout out to somebody who's helped them in their career. Is there anybody you'd like to thank? Or
Oh my goodness, there's so many, but I'm going to do the first one that comes to mind. Right, there's this Professor Robert Bontempo at Columbia Business School. So here I was quite so excited with all the finance and accounting. I was a big finance geek, and he was teaching something that was called managing human behavior. And I think I was quite dismissive of the importance of that. And even at the time, I think he overheard me in the hall talking quite negatively about his class. And he brought it up in the next class, horror of all horrors. And he said something to me that not only was so humbling, it was so true. He said, Kelly, these DCFs and all these valuation tools, any monkey can do that. What I'm teaching you is how to manage human beings. And that is a life skill, and that's harder than all of this. And here I was beet red for caught in the act, in this arrogant 20-something-year-old. And it was so spot on. And I did actually reach out to him on LinkedIn not too long ago. And he said, I'm a psychotherapist now. And you were right. So anyway, shout out to him. And I've had wonderful professors and mentors along the way. Now all these other names are coming to mind, but this doesn't need to be an Oscar speech. So I'll leave it with Bob Bontempo.